The crisp white certificate, framed and hanging proudly on my parents' living room wall, felt like a golden ticket. Bachelor of Arts in Mass Communication, it declared, promising a future of bright lights and influential words. My name is Tanya, and fresh out of university, I truly believe that piece of paper was all I needed. It was 2005, and optimism was my most abundant currency. My first job was at a mid-sized advertising agency. It sounded glamorous. In reality, it was long hours, endless coffee, and a boss, Mr. Thomas, who had a talent for making everyone feel perpetually inadequate. He'd bark orders, change his mind hourly, and often take credit for junior staff's ideas. I lasted 8 months, feeling my creativity shrivel. This isn't what I studied for, I'd tell myself, convinced the right opportunity was just around the corner. My certificate, I thought, would surely guide me there. Next, I tried my hand at a telecommunications company in their customer service department. The pay was decent, but the calls were relentless, the complaints endless. I learned patience, yes, and how to de-escalate angry customers, a skill I never knew I needed. But the constant pressure, the feeling of being a human shield for corporate blunders, wore me down. One day, after a particularly nasty call where a customer screamed at me for 15 minutes over a network issue I couldn't control, I simply walked out during my lunch break and never returned. I felt like a failure, adrift. My certificate, it seemed, was only good for getting me into places, not for keeping me happy or even safe. Then came the good pay job. It was for a new, ambitious tech startup, handling their partnerships and outreach. The salary they offered was almost double what I'd earned before, a dizzying sum. I felt a surge of hope. This was it, the real career. But the pay, I soon discovered, was as unpredictable as the Lagos traffic. It was tied to project milestones, investor funding, and the whims of a charismatic, but often disorganized, CEO. Some months, I felt rich. Other months, I was scrambling, wondering how to pay my rent. It was during this period that I truly began to learn, not from a textbook, but from sheer necessity. The startup was lean, so I wore many hats. I learned to write compelling proposals, mass comm, finally useful, to manage complex spreadsheets, to negotiate with vendors, to organize events with shoestring budgets, and even to troubleshoot basic IT issues because the tech guy is busy. I was constantly putting out fires, adapting, learning on the fly. It was chaotic, stressful, and exhilarating. One particularly brutal month, a major investor pulled out, and salaries were delayed indefinitely. I remember sitting in my small apartment, staring at the unpaid bills, a cold dread in my stomach. My landlord was calling. My certificate felt utterly useless. I had skills, yes, but they felt fragmented, unconnected. A week later, my cousin, Nicholas, called. He was launching a small online store for fashion accessories. "Tanya," he pleaded, "I need someone to set up my social media pages, write product descriptions, and maybe help me figure out how to get more people to see my stuff. I can pay you a small commission on sales, nothing fixed." I hesitated. Another unstable payment? But I was desperate. "Okay, Nick," I sighed. "Send me the details." I threw myself into it. I used the persuasive writing skills from my degree, the customer understanding from my telecom job, and the digital savvy I'd picked up at the startup. I found myself enjoying the process, seeing immediate results. Bola's sales slowly climbed. Then, a friend of Nicholas S. saw his social media and asked him, "Who's doing your marketing? Can they help me?" Bola pointed them to me. The first time someone called me an independent digital consultant, I almost laughed. Me, an entrepreneur. I was just trying to pay my bills. But the requests kept coming. Small businesses, struggling to navigate the online world, needed help. They cared that I could actually do things, set up their Instagram, write their website content, run a simple ad. It was an unconscious drift, a slow realization. All those unpleasant experiences, the unstable pay, the endless hats I'd worn, they had forged a unique skill set. My ability to communicate clearly, to solve problems under pressure, to adapt to new technologies, to manage projects, to empathize with clients, and crucially, my character, my sheer stubborn refusal to give up, these were the bricks I'd been unknowingly collecting. The first few years of Grit Digital Solutions were brutal. I worked from my room, sometimes pulling all-nighters, fueled by instant noodles and sheer determination. There were moments I wanted to quit, to go back to a proper job. I remember one particularly trying period, about 5 years in, when a major client, a big retail chain, threatened to pull their contract because of a technical glitch on their website that wasn't even my fault. Panic set in. The sheer grit I developed, the problem-solving skills honed in chaotic startups, kicked in. I stayed up for 48 hours straight, working with their IT team, finding the root cause, and not just fixing it, but presenting a preventative plan that impressed them. They didn't just stay, they gave me more business. That was the turning point. I realized my strength wasn't in a piece of paper, but in the tapestry of experiences I'd woven. My ability to connect with people, to understand their needs, to deliver results, and to remain resilient when things went sideways, these were my true assets. It's been 17 years now. Grit Digital Solutions is no longer a one-woman show in a room. We have a vibrant office, a team of 20 dedicated professionals, and a portfolio of clients that spans industries. But looking back, I wouldn't change a thing. Certification opened the door. Yes, it gave me that initial legitimacy. But it was the diverse skills I unknowingly gathered from every stumble and every pivot, and the character I built through every challenge and every late night, that truly helped me build on those opportunities and create a legacy. It was the messy, unpredictable path that led me to my true calling.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to subscribe for more true tales and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out. We'll see you next time here on Stories Platter.